All right. Let's get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I really appreciate your presence. Thank you for joining us. Um, you're in the right place if you're ready to learn about building AI powered practice. My name is Robin Muthomi, and over the next 1 hour, I'm going to share a 3 step blueprint for automating your farm. So I'm imagining most of you are probably having lunch on your desks. So bear with me, and I hope this will be a worthwhile presentation. Okay, welcome everyone. So the AI powered practice, a 3 step blueprint for automating your farm. Let's get started. So here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with a brief introduction of me. Who am I? Why do I even uh, why am I even talking about this topic? Then we'll deep dive into the core problem facing our profession. I will then share the 3 step blueprint, followed by probably what most of you have been waiting for, a live demo where I will be demonstrating a digital assistant who will be doing client intake from scratch. And finally, I will have a special invitation for some of you, and then we'll wrap up with a question and answer session. So, before we get into the details, I want to make a clear and simple promise to you. My only goal for today is to give you a practical blueprint that will help you reclaim 5 to 10 hours of your week. We're going to do this with the power of AI, and I promise you, you do not need to be a tech person to understand and use what I'm about to show you. It does take some learning curve, but you do not need to be a tech person, and that is very, very key in an area where we are in our age where we are talking about being disciplinary professionals. So, who am I? So, my name is Robin Muthomi Mutiga, as I've mentioned earlier. I am a lawyer. I'm an advocate in training, or we call them trainee advocates. Currently pursuing my pupillage and just about to complete. But over the last few years, I've been living a parallel life, I have to admit. During the pandemic, I immersed myself into programming, into software development, and over the past few months, I've had the pleasure and privilege of conducting 4 training sessions at the Kenya School of Law and an additional CPD by the Kenya School of Law on pupillage in the age of artificial intelligence. On top of that, I've been able to have the privilege of training multiple firms over the last couple of months on how to integrate this technology into their daily practice. I have also had the privilege to build and consult with some law firms on how to build systems and solutions that are catered and custom built for them. For the last 6 or so months, as I've been I've been serving my pupillage. I've also had the pleasure of building a full-fledged practice management software from the ground up. I have also had the privilege of conducting over 8 webinars over the past 9 or so months. So I'm not here to talk about the theory of AI, which I have been doing for the past couple of months. I'm here because I have been in the trenches. I have actually been building the solutions, and I want to show you exactly how you can get started today. So, my experience has given me a unique perspective on the single biggest challenge that is facing our profession today. Just kindly allow me to turn off my camera so that we can have no latency. Good. So for the past, my experience for the past few months has has given me a unique perspective on the biggest challenges that we face in our profession today. It's a challenge which I am calling the modern lawyer's dilemma. This isn't just a feeling we have, you see, it's a measurable crisis. The feeling of being overwhelmed by an unsustainable model isn't new. In the 1900s, because I like history, the world was in a very dangerous place. We were literally running out of light because at the time, majority of the world relied on what was whale oil. We relied on whale oil to do our to light our homes and our houses, to run our factories, and to do majority of what led to the industrial revolution. And during the 1850s, they thought that they were actually running out of whale oil because the economy had been disseminating the whales for a very long period of time. But they thought the solution was bigger ships. But the real solution actually came from a completely different technology, the invention of kerosene, or rather, the ability to refine petroleum into kerosene. Today, we are not running out of light because we have hydropower, we have solar, but we are running out of time. And the problem has become so significant that if it were reported on the front page of our dailies today, this is exactly how it would look like. Working more, earning less. Up to 63% of a lawyer's day is spent on activities that do not directly generate income. That is, 2 out of 8 hours are spent on administrative tasks. And this isn't an exaggeration. The data is actually startling. The latest industry reports show an average of 63% of lawyers, as I've mentioned, spent their time on non billable administrative tasks. And for solo practitioners, that number is even worse, with a utilization rate of just 26%. That is the amount of time that they actually utilize to generate revenue. This has a real implications in our bottom line. You can imagine the data says that up to 42% of firms are taking more than 3 days to respond to a new client. This is losing business before we even begin. But there is hope. The data also shows that proven automation tools can cut document drafting time by an average of 82%, directly reclaiming hours of non billable time. So I understand the data can feel overwhelming, but it's not a story of doom and gloom. It is a story about a fundamental shift, a paradigm shift of some sort. And this is not the very first time that information based professionals, including lawyers, doctors, have faced a technological disruption. I'm sure most of you know in the 14th or 15th century, scribes were the gatekeepers of knowledge. They were valued for their meticulous manual work, and this had in its inefficiencies. It was a big bottleneck to information. That meant information was only available to the rich. But then, in the 1440s, a gentleman introduced the portable printing press, and it arrived with a lot of fear and skepticism, especially through by the church. But it did not destroy knowledge. It democratized it. It created new and higher value roles, like we are seeing today in newspapers. We have editors, we have authors, we have so many other professions that have grown from this. And if you look at societies that did not adapt, for instance, the Arabic world did not adapt the printing press for years, for up to 300 years. They were ahead of the time in terms of scientific and technological development, but these stagnated their development greatly and they have never been able to recover to date. So, The solution to this problem is augmentation and not replacement. The solution is augmentation and not replacement. I don't know how many of us watch uh, these Hollywood films, but just to put it in those terms, the solution here is not a Terminator where AI is here to replace all of us. It's more in the tune of Iron Man, where technology becomes a powerful suit that enhances our own human expertise. And we're going to do this, augment our capabilities through automation and through the power of AI agents. I mean, that's what most of us are here today to learn about. But before we go any further, let us define our terms, because we are lawyers, we are advocates, precision matters. So, in our context, and to put it very plainly, very simply, I've talked about this topic for a couple of webinars and talks. But to put it plainly, automation is the use of technology to execute a recurring task or process based on a predefined set of rules. Automation is not about thinking, it's about doing. It follows a script perfectly every single time. So it starts with a trigger, an action, and an outcome. So this is predefined. Again, what are AI agents? AI agents are the next level. And I've said it numerous times. 2025 is the year of AI agents. So, an agent goes beyond automation. It is a system that one can perceive its environment, two can reason, three can make decisions, and four can act autonomously to achieve a specific goal. So this does not follow a script. It literally writes the scripts on its own. So with the foundation of our definitions in place, let's move into the blueprint that I promised all of you. I'm going to try to be very honorable of your time so that I don't take as much of your time. So, the how, the three-step blueprint. So today we are going to identify your automation gold mines. I'll introduce you to an automation scorecard that will help you score or identify the most automatable tasks. Three, I will demonstrate the art of what is possible with automation and AI agents. So let's begin. Identify. So the very first part is, or the very first step is to identify your best automation opportunities. For this, we will utilize the RIP method. So we need to identify the tasks or the activities that we need to put to rest once and for all. So the RIP method is an acronym that stands for repetitive, information based, and predictable. So these are tasks that you do over and over. This is work of moving data from one place to another, and you will see that practically as I begin to demonstrate. And third, and most importantly, these are processes that follow the same rules every single time. And to demonstrate, I have developed a tool that I'm going to share with you in the chat right now. It's called the Automation Scorecard. The Automation Scorecard is a simple tool that helps you identify the best automation opportunities by scoring your daily tasks against the RIP criteria. So this is the tool I developed. This will be your very first tool when you want to start automating tasks, both for your personal work. Um, Here we go. You can test it out, and this will be your very first step. So the link is in the chat. You can utilize it as much as you want. Okay, now let's move to the demonstration, the art of what is actually possible. So we're about to move from theory to real world application. This is a look at a system that I designed in a matter of hours to solve the exact problems that we have just discussed. Specifically, the task of onboarding new clients. As we saw from our data, 42% of firms take longer than 3 days to respond to a client. So the automation you can see on your screen, this is what we call a scenario in make.com terms, and I will demonstrate this to you. It does four things. Number one, it does a conflict check on whether your new onboarding client has a conflict of interest with either a matter you've done before or a matter you're currently handling. Two, it creates folders for these new clients. Three, it will create an instruction sheet from the data provided from the client, and it will also provide an invoice, the very first invoice. And finally, it will communicate both to the client and to the internal team on the new client. So let me take you through this. Join me in case you have a question. You can just raise your hand as we proceed. So this is make.com. Make.com is a no-code platform. I've talked about it previously in some of my webinars. So make.com is an automation platform. And specifically, why I've picked it for today's demonstration is because it's a no-code automation platform. Another beautiful thing about the no-code platform is that it has connections to thousands and thousands of apps. If you can think of an app, you can automate a task that happens there. And I will describe every part of this process so that you can join me. And we will do a live demo so that you can actually see how this works. So, this is our trigger, the very first point. It's a Google form. We call these modules. It's a Google form module that does one task and does it very well. It watches once a Google form has been submitted. That is all it does. After Google form has been submitted, it sends all that data here. All that data is received here. We can see from one I've done previously, this is the data. And I will show you that, you can see here, for instance, the email address. So that data is passed through something we call JSON, and I'll explain that better in just a moment. But it will pass that data here. Once that data is passed, as you can see here, it's written watch for responses. We'll move to a Google Sheet module. In this Google Sheet module, what will happen here is the automation will check whether there has been a previous matter, a contentious matter, where an opposing party is being mentioned in this Google form. So after it does that, it will flag indeed whether there was a conflict found, whether there was no conflict found. So as you can see here, this is called a router. The router will pass data into multiple directions. You could do 5, 6, 10, 100, doesn't matter. But for today, we just need the data to move either this way or either this way. But before the data moves this way or this way, there is a filter here, just like a sieve, a normal sieve, and I'll show you. This filter is just supposed to check whether a conflict was found, whether no conflict was found at all. So if a conflict is found, the data will move, the automation will continue this way. If no conflict was found, the automation will proceed this way. So if the conflict was found, an email will be sent to the internal team notifying them that indeed there is a potential conflict that they should check Two, it will create a Google Drive, which will be the repository for this new client, where all new documents and subsequent documents will be stored in this Google folder. Then it will automatically create a document. This is one of my favorite automations. I've been talking to some of you before the webinar, and they have told me one of the most repetitive tasks that they do and on a day-to-day is drafting hearing notices, mention notices, affidavits of service. These are standard documents that are repetitive. They're structured in a specific way, and we just change a few details here and there. Same as all the statutory forms under conveyancing, all the statutory forms under probate and administration, and so on and so forth. So it will create a document. The first document it will create here is an instruction sheet. And we'll see that happen. And then that document will be downloaded. And then it will create another document, which will be an invoice, a pro forma invoice. And that will also be downloaded. And then an email will be sent to the client first to welcome them. And then an email will be sent to the team to also notify them of the new client. So let's see how this automation works. Do you want to see how this works? Yeah. Okay. So it all begins with an intake form. So this is our intake form. Can we all see this? Are we together? Just put a thumbs up if we are together. If you so far we understanding what you're talking about. Okay, okay. Good, good. Sawa sawa. Let's begin. So this is just a simple client intake form. This could be a form on your website. This could be done through a WhatsApp chat. It could be literally anything. So if you imagine it, you can build it. So it starts very simply, and I will fill it as we proceed. So my full name is Robin. I'm the client here in this case. Muthomi Mutiga. My email address is robinmutiga@gmail.com. If you want to reach me out, that's the email, and this is the phone number. Sorry. And then we go to the next part. What matter do I need assistance with? Okay, let's say conveyancing. So a brief summary. I want to buy land in Karen, and the crowd says amen. So I want to buy land in Karen. So who is the primary opposing party in this matter? So there isn't any, so we just submit that as is. And so you see, the form has been submitted. And I'll take us back now to the automation. So let's see this automation run. So I'll just click run once. And as you're seeing, the data is running directly. So it seems there was a conflict. And because there was a conflict, I will have a new email sent to my inbox. So I'm sharing my inbox, and as you can see, a new email has been sent that says urgent conflict detected. The automation client intake system has flagged a potential conflict of interest for this matter. Okay. So this is what happens. As you can see, the data only passed through one, and I suspect this was from data that I had previously shared. So we'll create another one. This one will hopefully have no conflict so that we can see what happens in the case where there isn't any conflict. So let's ensure there is nothing. Okay. So let's do this again. We go to the form. In this case, this time round there isn't any conflict, so that we can see how that goes. I'll do the same thing. Email Robin Muthomi. We'll do my email address, Robin Mutiga at Gmail. My phone number 0799157696. And then what do I want to do? Let's say conveyancing. This time I want to buy an apartment in Kilimani. The crowd says amen. So yes, I will proceed to submit the form. So opposing party, none. Submit. So let's go back to our intake system and then run again once. And this can be set to run automatically. So this doesn't have to. And as you can see, it took the other route. And here at this point, a document is being generated. It's been downloaded. The other document is being generated as well. It's being downloaded. Then an email is being sent and another email is being sent. That took less than a minute. And as you can see from the data, it takes firms up to 2 days to respond. With this very simple automation, you can actually cut that time. And this is just one of the very many you could build. So I'll share this tab instead so that you can see the email I received. I received this email, new client inquiry. The conflict check was cleared. You can see the digital assistant has successfully processed the new client inquiry. The details are below. That's the details. I want to buy an apartment in Kilimani. And we can proceed to view the client folder. I'll take you there. So this is the Google Drive. And as you can see, automatically a new folder has been created in my Google, and we have two documents which have also been automated. As you can see here, the time is 1:30. So let's look at the instruction sheet. This is the document that was generated. So you see, this is a very well edited document, Wakili and Co. That's the pseudo law firm, and you'll see the details. You see opposing party none, conflict cleared. So, and you'll see all the details there. We'll also view the invoice directly. This was automatic.